Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Monday morning. I'm up bright and early, doing my mind, body, and soul program. Figured I'd make a video. Let's talk about confrontation. A lot of people avoid confrontation unnecessarily to their own demise, to their own disadvantage. Don't avoid confrontations. Now, don't go looking for them. I mean, I'm not going to make a video suggesting people go out there like douchebags looking for fights, being like, hey, get over here. Don't go around looking for fights. But you don't want to let people walk over you. You don't want to let people get away with shit. You don't want to avoid necessary conversations. It's important for communication. It's important to be able to talk things out. Arguments, disagreements, these don't settle on their own. People just build up resentments. The more time that goes between a confrontation, a problem and a confrontation about that problem, the more resentment that is going to build up. I like to squash things immediately. Immediately. How do we have a proper confrontation? Because people think of confrontation and they think of fight. They think of irrational screaming and yelling. They go right to an extreme version of confrontation. And of course, those are types of confrontations, but there's a way to have healthy confrontations with people. And I've learned this in business. I didn't learn this in the streets. The streets confrontation is a whole different thing. I mean, people get killed for just looking at somebody wrong. In business, you have to be a little bit more civil, and you have to remember what your goal is. Your goal is to make money. That's the goal. So you want to be able to have a confrontation with, say, a customer, a boss, an employee, a contact, an associate, a subcontractor, a vendor, whatever, whoever it is. You want to be able to have that confrontation and still be able to do business if possible, still be able to move forward if possible. And if you can't do business or move forward with your relationship, to be able to walk away from each other without shaking your fist, cursing, talking shit, bad-mouthing each other, ruining each other's reputation, or having any kind of animosity. To just simply be able to say, didn't work out. I dealt with that guy. We didn't see eye to eye, and, so we didn't make a deal. First step, I think, with confrontations is to be in the right frame of mind before you go into it. You want to be well thought out with what your point of view is. So what I like to do before I go into a confrontation is to have a conversation with myself, to kind of run through scenarios of what this potential conversation is going to be like from my side. Now, I can only imagine a couple different responses from somebody else, and they may not be accurate, but at least I have a couple different avenues. If they say this, then I can say that. But my intention is not to necessarily win. I don't go into confrontations with a winning, like this is a war between me and you, and I'm going to crush you. I go into a confrontation with a mindset of trying to explain my side as articulate, being as articulate as I can. And if we can't come to an agreement, settle on anything, then we just walk away. One of the rules with business, for example, is to always be able to walk away from a deal, from almost anything. If it's an employee, that your favorite employee, and you guys just can't get along, it's just not working, there's a major problem, and you can't settle it, well, your favorite employee is going to have to take a fucking hike. You'll get another favorite employee. Trust me, there's all kinds of good workers out there. So I like to be dead set on what it is that I'm trying to get across, what my point of view is. That takes some forethought. Once I feel like I'm well thought out, then I'm ready for the conversation. I don't put it off for days, weeks at a time. Never, ever, ever delay a confrontation. I like to get after it immediately. And it doesn't matter what it is. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. We'll talk about it now or in an hour. But I'm not going to wait a week. I think once you've gotten your side of the story down, not in a defensive way, in a logical way. This is why it's important to just kind of wait a little bit, to let some of that emotion die down and to talk about things in a rational, calm, professional way. Now, you want to take this same behavior, even if this is with your girlfriend or with a buddy that you need to talk to. The second thing I do is, first thing I do is get my story straight. Second thing I do is to try to really manage my emotions. So if I'm feeling angry, furiously angry, like punching your teeth out, that's not a good time to have a conversation about what's going on between us. The confrontation, when I'm angry and I have a temper, when I'm angry, a confrontation at that point is going to be a fist fight. It's going to be dangerous, and that's not productive. We don't ever want that to happen. So calm down, do what you need to do. Say positive affirmations, go exercise. Exercise is an incredibly wonderful way to get out that aggressive energy. Whatever it takes. I should make another video about how to calm yourself down once you're angry, because that can be an art form. Sometimes it does take a day to just kind of snap out of that fuck you mindset, because we can easily get into that closed down, fuck the world, fuck that motherfucker kind of attitude, and that's not a productive way to go into a conversation either. You have to keep in mind, what is it that you want from somebody? A confrontation is not just you venting. You don't just give your side, yell and scream and walk off and say, oh, I feel better, I got that off my chest. That's not a confrontation. A confrontation is a two-way street. You don't want to be freaked out by this word that I'm using, confrontation. Get over that fear. It doesn't have to be a fight. Once I've gotten in control of my emotions, we're ready to have our conversation. And what I like to do is to have some sort of control over the situation, meaning that, say for example in business, if I'm meeting with a vendor, I call that vendor into my office. If I'm meeting with an employee, I call that employee into my office. Why don't you take a seat? We're going to have a conversation. Now, about yesterday, I start off with my conversations, with these confrontations, with a little humility. I like to admit my side of the story. You're always going to have two sides. It's not a right and wrong, and I'm right and you're wrong. There's two sides to each. So there's four sides. I have a right side and a wrong side over on my point of view, and you have a right side and a wrong side. So there may be some things that I did wrong. There may be some things that I said in the initial confrontation, whatever our problem developed from. I may have contributed to it, and I want to acknowledge those things. So I can say simple stuff to acknowledge my role in what happened and say, I may have came at you a little bit harsh the other day, but we need to have a conversation about this. So I lead into what my problem is with humility to put the person at ease. So it doesn't just sound like I'm screaming and yelling. Another thing that I do, moving down my list, is I speak from a point of view of I. I need, I feel, I want, I notice. I don't say you. You talked to me in an inappropriate way the other day. No. I feel that you came at me in a way that that was disrespectful. I always put it in a perspective of I, not in a perspective of you, because you is blaming. You did this. You are this way. Why can't you be different? I put it in, I need. Somebody may be a lot more receptive to helping you with fulfilling your needs rather than when you just come at them with blaming, pointing. words. Now, your goal may be that you want this person to change their behavior. Could be your girlfriend, could be a friend. You want them to change their behavior, but how are you going to do that? It's not like this is manipulation. It's just simply a tactic. You want to be able to elicit the right response out of somebody, and you can shut someone down real easy by blaming, pointing fingers, cursing, saying nasty things, cursing, say, fuck you, you're this way, you're a piece of shit. Never talk that way in a confrontation unless you're planning on getting in a fist fight. If me and you were in a bar fight, then yeah, I just let it fly, punk bitch motherfucker. But as professional adults, we don't go into any conversation that way with people that we care about, with employees, with lovers, with friends, with anybody like that. So start with a little humility. Admit your side where you have strayed or gone wrong, or where you could have been a contributor to the situation. And then immediately go into what your points are. I may have contributed to this, but this is what I need from you. And this is what I expect. And this is what I like. This is the type of relationship that, so then give your side. Try not to curse, like I say. Try not to be blaming. Try not to be rude. Even if this is a touchy issue and you're really angry, you want to remain professional. The other person's response is not your responsibility. It's not yours to own. You can decide, okay, look, I gave you my side. I've tried to come at you in a rational, professional way. I care about you. I think you're a nice person. Whatever you can say to put them at ease, but, and this is where you want to be assertive and put your foot down, but this doesn't work for me. I don't tolerate this type of behavior. It's always from a point of view of I. And if you can't agree, then you have to agree to disagree, as my mom used to say and would always make me giggle. Sometimes that happens. A confrontation doesn't always end with handshakes. You can just agree to disagree and go your own way, and always be willing to do that. So I hope that some of this will put you guys at ease, whoever I'm talking to out there that has problems with confrontations. Not all of us do. I'm good at confrontations. I love them. I've practiced them for many years. I'm great at this. I'm great at confrontations of any level, even really, really freaky, scary ones. I'm the guy you want to be with because this is easy for me. So maybe we can make a couple videos about this, start a dialogue. Tell me, if you have any good tactics, any good advice to add to this, or if you have any fears of confrontation, maybe we can all hash it out in a conversation. Thanks for watching.